Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Firstly, I'd like to say it's been a really fun season and last live call-in show of the year. I just want to say thank you to all of you guys. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for sharing the videos, and a big special appreciation for everyone who subscribed on Patreon. I really appreciate it. What's up? What's up, Timothy Williams? Yeah, man, I like the 49ers. I'm in a bunker here. What is it? Like 82% of the bets are on the Chiefs. Line hasn't budged even a little bit, and I'm not really concerned about it. The only thing I'm concerned about is the 49ers first half performances. We'll get into that as people get in here. I appreciate everyone. And yeah, man, it's a melancholy week because listen, I know everyone likes the Super Bowl. And honestly, this is probably the biggest Super Bowl of my lifetime watching football, I have to say. I don't know if we can find a bigger one. The last time I remembered hype this big was like when the Giants were against the Ravens, maybe because there's a New York team in. What's up, Gus? Nice to see you, Gus. Yeah, man. And so, but the Super Bowl to me, I got to say, man, if you give me a choice between the Super Bowl or week one, I'm taking week one any day of the week. I am. I'm just taking week one, and I wanted to do a video this week, but I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. But I'll just go on right now, man. Um, I gotta say, I have to say, my question to you guys is the Super Bowl more spectacle? Is it more game? For me, it's more spectacle. Like I was watching a podcast with Joe Burrow today because I was even over exaggerating the amount of time in halftime. So essentially, Joe Burrow was laying it out, and he said in the Super Bowl, they were in the locker room for 45 to 50 minutes at halftime, which is an absolute ton. I mean, anyone who's played any sort of athletics, I'm not saying I'm a fucking NFL caliber athlete or anything along those lines, but anyone who's even jogged around the block knows that, 45, 50 minutes break after you break a sweat, then you got to go out there and pound grown men. I don't know if that's necessarily a great way to maintain rhythm. And we've seen teams completely lose rhythm at halftime. And then Burrow pretty much said in regular season, you're pretty much in the locker room at halftime for 5 to 7 minutes. And then that's even without me talking about all the other rigmarole. What's up, Mike Stacks? Mike Stacks says, I have San Fran plus 4.5 minus 250. I have San Fran 19 versus KC 17. I got to say, man, I don't know if everyone watched. I only did one video this week. My bad on that. But I don't know if anyone finished the video, but it's a money pick on that under for me. What's it at, guys? Like 47.5 still? I saw 47 and a half. So I'm going to go 47.5. And I absolutely love that under. I think Super Bowls, like I talked about, the long time in halftime in the locker room, I think works against offense. So I just want to say that. And then also, we need to look at both of these teams' performances. Like, we know this San Fran offense is extremely explosive, but I haven't been all that impressed when we see them play two average defenses in the Packers and Lions, and they struggled at times. And then we're looking at the Kansas City Chiefs, and yes, they moved the ball pretty good against Buffalo, but we know that Buffalo defense was just like, what? How many fucking starters were they missing from week one? Like 7, 8. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating. And then we see that Ravens game, and the thing that confused me is how active Kelsey was in that game. But also, the Chiefs had probably 5, 6 opportunities to close that game out, and they just didn't do it. And I'm not taking anything away from them. Like, I know we got a lot of Chiefs fans on here, and they're very, very sensitive, and I get it. There's nothing like an anxiety. There's nothing like the anxiety and nerve and angst you have in like AFC, NFC championship, Super Bowl type moment. I mean, I remember the one time my Vikings were in with Favre, I was fucking pacing around the house all week like a meth head. So I get it. Yeah, I like that under. I like that under. We'll talk about that more as it goes on. Zamora 690 sends a $5 super chat. Thank you, Zamora. Nice to see you, man. How long have you been watching the show, Zamora? At least 4 years. You've been here since the beginning, right? Thought on my parlay. Anytime touchdown McCaffrey. Didn't we see that anytime touchdown McCaffrey at like minus 230 now? I'm not smugging my nose at it, but yeah, not the best price. Rashee Rice, Kelsey, Pacheco, Tony. Who would you take out? I would take out Tony because I mean that for me, man. Have we gotten any concrete news if Kadarius Toney is going to be activated? Wasn't he saying 2 weeks ago against the Ravens that he was fully healthy and the Chiefs were fibbing about it? And pretty much he was like an active scratch, kind of like they have in hockey. So yeah, man, I would take Tony out of there. But I really do like the Debo and McCaffrey one. I really do like that. Yeah, man, and you got to think they're going to get Kelsey the ball. He's the only one who can get consistently open, and Pacheco's been really good in short yardage situations. Thank you for the super chat, my man. Yeah, Anthony Thomas, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I'm not even into the conspiratorial stuff, and I'm not really like a big fan of it. But also, you do have a point. We saw last year Super Bowl decided by a call. Now, if you slow it down and you really zoom in on Bradbury, you watch it in like minus 1.5 speed, and you really slow that thing down. Yeah, it was a pass interference. But we see that play probably 15 to 20 times a game. Let's be realistic about it. And that was the call that decided the Super Bowl. Let's be completely honest about it. So when you have a close game like this, I don't think it's going to be a runaway. Like you guys remember back, like let's even go like 90s, just or even early 2000s. Like Super Bowls used to fucking really disappoint. They used to turn into blowouts. You'd see a team beating another team by like 50 points. Like, how bad did the 49ers beat some of these teams in the early 90s? Now it seems like every Super Bowl comes down to the last possession. And when you have a minus 2 point spread, maybe it's safer to just take San Fran money line. It's just due to the fact that this could come down to a field goal. What's up, Ron? What's up, Steve Terry? Steve, where are you at, man? Good afternoon. Yeah. Steve, are you on the West Coast, man? Yeah, so yeah, I'm betting against Mahomes, Bill, but reluctantly. Like, listen, man, if I had to put a bet on this game, I got a lot of props. I got some obscure props. Like, for instance, here's what I'm looking at for Patreon. Will the 49ers have made a fourth down conversion? I'm looking at the first half total. Probably the pick I like in this game most is 47.5, the full time total. And I'm going under there, and that's a money pick. And I do like the 49ers to win, though. And I do like them with the -2. And I get why we're in a minority. I get why we're kind of like the redheaded stepchild in the corner of the house while everyone else is dancing and slinging cash at Mahomes and the Chiefs. I get it. Like, I'm not immune to it. I completely understand it. I just don't think the NFL really wants to put their hand on the scale too much for this. But you never know. I can't say I like the script campaign commercial they did this year. What's that dude's name? Like Key Appeal? Keen Appeal. Well, what's that dude's name? And that script commercial wasn't the best. You know, they're kind of like making fun of people for complaining about what happened in last year's Super Bowl. And I get it. This is NFL 2024. I mean, it's not fucking 93 where you would see above average teams beat Marino, for instance, in the playoffs. This is NFL in 2024, and it is a quarterback driven league. And if you're betting the better quarterback in a big game with all the chips in the middle, I completely get it. I'm not going to smug my nose at you, but at a certain point, preseason pick was the 49ers. I'm not telling anyone to go out and put a big bet on the 49ers. We're 3-0 for college fun games this year, and this game certainly isn't even close to a college fun game. But I do like the 49ers. So yeah, man, that's where I'm at. And I really do think the 49ers have the better roster, and that's why they were my preseason pick to win it all. And I'm kind of forced to go with the preseason pick since they made it this far. I mean, I am a little bit worried about the form of the 49ers. Now, when I say form, I'm worried about their fucking two first half performances against the Packers and Lions. I'm extremely worried. I'm also worried about the secondary. Now, since the Shanahan era started, just think the last 4 or 5 years of 49ers football. Since Harbaugh left, Shanahan gets in. I think this is the best secondary they have. Yet we've seen Jordan Love and Goff completely carve them to pieces. And that's concerning. And we've seen them carved to pieces other times this year, like a la at home against the Ravens. That's the only thing that concerns me. Yeah. Lots of props, man. Lots of props. Anthony Thomas says, I heard that 83% of the money is on the Chiefs. Yeah, I was doing a little bit of research earlier in the week. It was 72%. Now we're at like you said, like when I looked earlier today, it's at 80%. We've been pretty good when we've been the redheaded stepchild this year. For instance, like remember when we bet the Browns against the Titans? Browns are -3.5. Like a fucking 88% of the money was on the Titans. We've been pretty good in those situations. Of course, you're going to get burned a few times, but we're plus money in these type of situations. I'm going to take the same prop picks from last 3 years Super Bowl, over 1.5 field goal in Super Bowl. I completely agree. Plus, people cramp up. I do think coaches don't get as aggressive in the Super Bowl as they should. Sean Payton did, and that's why they were able to beat the Colts. But normally, that's not the type of rationale we see. Angeline, this. I'm not sure if Lauren's coming on tonight. I just started streaming. Usually she comes on the second hour. So once I get through the Patreon questions, if she's in here, I'll send an invite. Bill, I do like Purdy over 12.5 rushing yards. I do. I'm not as big a fan as betting like the over quarterback rushing yards as others, because you do worry about knees. That's the only thing I worry about. I do kind of think Mahomes runs it a lot. Like, I'm not looking at the Mahomes yardage total. I'm looking at the Mahomes rushing attempts total. I think it's at 4.5. What is it at? What is that? It's at 4.5, like -108. I kind of like that. Last time they played, and I think this Chiefs offensive line is vulnerable. And last time they played, we saw Mahomes run it quite a bit. Thank you, Noah. She's getting better, man. She's getting better. So still in the hospital, but she's getting better. Thank you, Noah. Dude, the weather's hot as fuck, man. It's like 89 degrees. So we're about to get into carnival here, and it's hot, man. It is hot. It's a scorcher. Normally it's supposed to rain this month, but it's not raining. So I am sitting here melting. But yeah, man, what's up, Day? Prestige, what's up, man? I get Prestige, yeah. Are you betting the 49ers? I know you want to, bro. I know you want to. Do think the 49ers win the game. I do think, like, honestly, man, at a certain point, don't the Chiefs need to get punished for the roster they've assembled this year? It's just, they have a very good corner. They have a very good quarterback. They have a very good defensive tackle. They have a very good tight end. They have a pretty damn good running back. But outside of that, there just isn't a lot of there. Like, I know Joe Tooney's good at guard. Is he going to play? We know he's banged up. He missed the last game. Outside of that, like, you can go down a list of the 49ers. I can name probably 15 very good players. And they have so much depth. And that's just something I can't smug my nose at. Even though it's 2024 and we get it, it's better to have the elite quarterback. So, so let's get some prop. Yeah, you guys just throw out props in the chat. Let's get to Patreon. I'm going to get to Patreon questions. They got some pretty good ones. I'm going to start with Coop, because Coop has some really interesting one. Okay, a kid named Coop. What's up, Lawson? Hope all is well with you, man. Locked up most of the plays in Arizona before heading out to Nevada, not Vegas. I'm still 50-50 on who's going to win it all, but I got some Super Bowl props I was considering, and I wanted to know your thoughts on them. Props, both teams with 35 or longer field goal, plus 110. I like that. I actually think that's the best way to attack the field goals. I get people wanting to go like, for instance, they want to go Jake Moody over 7.5 total points. They want to go over 1.5 field goals. I just think over. I just think both teams are a 35 yard field goal over is a better bet. That's plus 110. I like it. Purdy to throw 2 touchdowns and Kittle 40 yards. Before I analyze that, it's plus 185. Coop says it's its favorite. Before I analyze that, I'm going over on if you want to bet yardage, if you want to bet catches, I think we got to go over on Kittle. I like some of the matchups he has. And I think we've seen Kittle too sparsely used in these big time moments for San Fran. I think that has to change. Like if they don't use him enough, especially in the passing game, I don't know if they can win the game, man. I just don't. I just don't because with L'Jarius Sneed, man, I think either Ayuk or Deebo Samuel could be eliminated. And I think Ayuk could be eliminated from this game. Because Deebo Samuel's easier to move around, put him in the slot. He can play anywhere at the receiver position. So I think one of these receivers is going to be eliminated, and I think Kittle is going to get a ton of throws his way. I certainly hope so, especially with when sometimes, listen, I think throwing to the tight end is one of the safest things a quarterback can do. You guys can disagree. I mean, of course, the check down to the running back's pretty safe, but we're talking something that's going to be effective. Yeah, man. So I do think Purdy throws 2 touchdowns, and I do think Kittle gets 40 yards. Plus 185. I mean, I think that's a good one, man. Deebo or Rice to score the first touchdown, plus 500. Yeah, it's just we have seen Rashee Rice get some work in the red zone. It's plus 500. I think it's worth a dice roll. And I think we're going to see Deebo Samuel get a lot of carries for whatever that's worth. Like, I think we see him get 5 or 6 carries. I'm not sure what the props on the rushing yards were, but when I looked at it earlier this week, I found it rather interesting. And yeah, man, appreciate the work you've done this season. And let's end the season with a bang. Money. Thank you, Coop. I appreciate it, bro. I like those, man. I like those. My favorite would probably be both teams with a field goal 35 or longer. Plus 110 is a good price on that. Lino Frosto, 49ers minus 3.5 alt line. Thank you for everything, my guy. Can't wait for USFL and summer soccer. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. We absolutely hammered USFL last year. It's merging with XFL, but I don't think much is going to change. And yeah, man, soccer, that Leicester pick last week was a good start, getting some momentum in the right way. I would not go 49ers minus 3.5 on the outline. Listen, they should keep these Super Bowls too close now. And I'm not saying like, oh, the refs are cheating, so they keep it close. Just seems like every single Super Bowl goes down to the last possession. That's why I get a little bit scared of that hook. So I would say no on that. And I would look at the under, to be honest. Cat, will defense dominate this game, or will the zebras and NFL memos destroy the integrity of the future of the NFL? I hope not, my man. I hope not. Like I said, I don't want, no one gives a care about last year, but I really didn't like that Bradbury call at the end of the game in Chiefs Eagles. I just didn't like it. I just hope we get a clean game. If the Chiefs win fair and square, if Mahomes whips work, which is very easy to imagine happening, then fine. Like, they deserve to win. And we know the 49ers, they haven't played their best football in the first half, and that makes them vulnerable, even though they have the way better squad. I do like the 49ers, though, but we don't know what crazy shit we're going to see. And then also we have to talk about the spectacle of the Super Bowl. You spend 5-7 minutes in the locker room at halftime normally. Now you're going to spend 45 to 50 minutes in the locker room. I think that adds and takes away from the rhythm of the game. I think it hurts the rhythm, and I think it's something to look at. The Hound. Everybody and their mom is on the Chiefs, and the line only moved to favor the Niners. Vegas is taking all that Chiefs money. Yeah. Have we seen a Super Bowl this what's the word? And let's not go early 90s like with like the 49ers and all them. But have we recently seen a Super Bowl where the bet distribution is like 82% for one team, 18% for the other? Like, I saw Anthony commenting that he looked it up just at the minute, and 82% of the bets are on the Chiefs. I get it. Like I said, I completely understand it. This is 2024. Roster isn't as important. It is a quarterback driven league. When you got an elite quarterback, of course you want to ride with that. But yeah, man, I'm going with the roster. Give me the roster. Woodbury 222. I'm seeing a close game. 49ers minus 49ers 1-6 exact win margin is plus 280 at my book. I like that. I think it's a one possession game, my guy. I really do. I already have the money line for the 49ers and Casey plus 8.5. I like that. I can't disagree. I think the 49ers win this game by a field goal. That's where I'm at. Okay, Ursa Minor. Okay. He wrote a lot, so let me try to paraphrase it. So he likes Noah Gray, the second string tight end on the Chiefs, with over 11.5 receiving yards and over 1.5 catches. 49ers have been good at covering tight ends this year, but I kind of get the logic. And so Ursa is pretty much saying Gray has taken over 109 snaps in the playoffs, fifth most on the team. Chiefs have been using a lot of two tight ends. I actually think that's good knowledge. So yeah, man, you don't need much. Like everyone's attacking the Marquez Valdez Scantling like over receiving yards, but I actually like this Noah Gray one. And you're right. I think it's important to figure out that the Chiefs have been using a lot more two tight end sets. Like this isn't the Chiefs from 2 years ago. And don't you have to use two tight end sets when you got Chase Young and Bosa? Yeah, like I'm not arguing about the Valdez Scantling pick. I completely get it. I've just seen a lot of people on it, and it is safer with the 11.5. Like, didn't the Scantling one open at like fucking 22? Or am I thinking when the Chiefs were playing the Ravens? Okay. Yeah, we're doing USFL. I'm not going to do videos about it on YouTube. I'm not trying to slaughter my algorithm. What are they calling it now? Oh, they're calling it United Football League. Okay. Yeah, because the XFL and USFL merged. We didn't bet the XFL last year, but we just said, like, listen, on Patreon, we're going to put our head down and try to bet this USFL. And it was actually fun. The games, we know how those went at times, but still, it's nice to have something to bet. And football is football. Okay. Okay. Ursa Minor starting his own Facebook page, 314 to 520. Okay, got you, my man. Jeremy Wheel. It's been a good year. Lawson, you did your big one, but these playoffs are unpredictable. Yeah, playoffs. 49ers should win, but it seems like they want a broken Kansas City team to win it all. Yeah, man, I'm surprised by the rub of the green. I felt like the Chiefs kind of got lucky against the Bills. I don't mean to use that. And I felt like we saw a Ravens team completely self-destruct. And it's been a good year. One of the few L's I've taken this year in terms of takes was my underrating the Ravens. And then to top it off, they come in and just completely implode. And I felt like they kind of lost that game more than the Chiefs won it. And I'm not trying to be like a negative Nancy because the Chiefs had to go on the road and win those damn games. But golly, I mean, could we have gotten a worse Ravens performance? Yeah, man. Thank you, Jeremy. It's been a good year, man. Dicko, thanks for the season, Lawson. John, and the way you handled it. Thank you, Dicko. I always love seeing you, my man. Hope all is good with the family. I'm not going big on the Super Bowl. Looking forward to soccer and USFL. Enjoy the game, mate. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm going to throw in some bats. It's just, like I said, like, give me week one, give me wild card weekend. And like, you kind of see it with our community. Like, we're not as excited about the Super Bowl as the regular public. We just aren't. That's where we're at. But yeah, man, I love watching the Super Bowl, and we've had some great Super Bowls the last 10 years. Just some really, really good games. Jason J, I would not say Purdy is elite. That's the problem here. And bro, that interception against the Lions, I'm forgetting the time of the game it was, but my word, it was bad. Yeah, Calvin. Calvin, it is bittersweet. Damn bittersweet night. We won't chill in the 7 months, but let's go San Fran. But Vegas probably give us Casey. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. We'll see. We're on this island with San Fran. I did look at some of the comments, and with our community, it was like 50-50, which makes sense because we kind of do this betting thing 365 24 hours 7 days a week. So I did think most of the commenters would be on the Chiefs, but we got like a 55-45 split. Yeah, man, it is more like melancholy. Like once we get past wild card weekend, it's kind of like my team's never in it. I've only got the Vikings only been NFC Championship one time. So yeah, man, I do enjoy watching these playoff games, and I do enjoy watching the Super Bowl. It's just kind of like a gut punch in a way. You guys know what I'm saying? Because nothing's like football. Like if we had like fucking like 1998 NBA, I'd be beating my chest, and we'd be betting NBA. It's just, but we don't have like 1998 NBA. Hell, we don't got 2010 NBA. I know some of you guys like hockey. I like betting soccer, but I know you guys are kind of churned off by that. But yeah, it's football, man, and NFL is just peaking. So yeah, Bill, she's getting better, man. She's getting better. It's a slow process. So they told her 2 weeks, like 3 weeks ago, and she's still in there. So it's crazy, man. It's a very, very slow process for her to recover. So hopefully she's back home in like a week and a half, 10 days. I was hoping she would be home on Monday, but not looking like it. But yeah, she's doing better though. Like, so luckily they got control of the situation. Thank you for asking, Bill. This is from Derek. Hey, John, what are your thoughts on these prop bets? Kelsey over 71.5 receiving yards. Don't we kind of have to bet that? Like, and then Derek says over 6.5 receptions. I'm kind of lukewarm on that. And when I was seeing that, didn't we get that like minus 140? I could be wrong. It could have dipped a bit. But that 71.5 for Kelsey makes a lot of sense to me. Pacheco over 67.5 rushing yards. Wow, this is the tough one. I would go over as well because you guys know I go under more than the general pop. You guys know that already. But don't you guys kind of feel like the Chiefs have to run the ball? Because I feel like they have to establish the run game, and that's been a big part of their renaissance since like week 15, week 16. And my favorite anytime touchdown score for the Chiefs would be Pacheco. I don't want to reinvent the wheel, and that's what I would go with. I would go with Pacheco if we're going anytime touchdown score for the Chiefs. Does anyone know if Kadarius Toney is playing? Someone please write in the chat if you know he's playing. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, Lauren, you want to come on? And I got to ask you guys a question. So, I'm not trying to like turn this page into like an off season, like, you guys know, like Flum Row raps. Like, I'm not trying to turn it into this, but do you guys remember a receiver from Oklahoma State? His name was Justin Blackman. He might have even won Rookie of the Year. He had a great first year with the Jacksonville Jags. And then he got suspended for substance abuse, and he never filed for reinstatement. You guys remember Justin Blackman? Yeah, Bill, Mahomes barely gets sacked. And I feel like I'm a crazy man because I've been saying I think this is the worst Chiefs offense line we've seen in the last 5-6 years. I really do. But there's like no metric to prove it because, like you said, Mahomes just doesn't take sacks. And a good quarterback knows how to work with an offensive line, and they help the offensive line. So, yeah, man, he just doesn't take sacks. So, If someone went Bosa under, I'm fine with it. And then the last time these teams played, Bosa was about to get a sack. Guy grabs him from the back, holds him. Then Mahomes throws a 40-yard dart. No hold. No hold. So, you know, and Bosa was on his ass all night, and he's just going to get home. Okay, Johnny Woo. Okay, Kelsey Super Bowl pass. 43 yards, 133 yards, 81 yards, 6'10", 6 receptions. Yeah, so that kind of backs up what I was saying about the 6.5, why I'm not in love with it. I would just prefer the attack the Kelsey over yards. And I do wonder, was Kelsey sandbagging earlier this season? Like, you guys remember when he missed the first game of the year against Detroit? And then he kind of was like, I'm not saying he's having a down year because he's fucking dominant, but we didn't really see as much as him as normal. And then against the Ravens, he just goes off, man. So I like that over 71.5. I think that's good money, man. I like Derek's mind there. Yeah. So I feel like Patreon contributed some good player props. If we want to get Lauren on, if she's still here, I'll send an invite. But yeah, man, it's just, so yeah, man, it's been a fun year, been a fun year. So, yeah, man, we got Carnival in Brazil coming up on Saturday. Not doing anything for it. So, and then we got the Super Bowl. Is this the big, let me ask you guys a question. Is this the most hyped Super Bowl you guys seen in your life? Or do you think that's an unfair question? Because either way, every Super Bowl just gets hyped more every single year. I don't know, man. I just feel like this is the most hyped Super Bowl we've ever had. Yeah, Lauren, I'll invite you in like 15 minutes then. Heinz Buck Sandcastle. I have bet against the Chiefs in 2 Super Bowls, and guess how that turned out? Oh, well, Heinz Buck, were we wrong last year? Were we wrong last year to bet the Eagles? You know, no, I get what you're saying, and I get what you're saying. It's just, I assume you probably took the 49ers last time they played as well. Pretty sure I did too. I don't know, man. I don't know. Were we wrong last year about the Eagles? That Bradbury call? Yeah, Vegas Super Bowl. Yeah. Vegas does make things better. And that stadium is really, really nice. I don't know if any of you guys have been there, but it's very, very nice. Yeah. At least I think you're right. Like the celebrity worship is insane. It's just something I can't relate to. Yeah, I do kind of agree, Heinz Buck, that we haven't seen the best of Bosa this year. I do kind of agree. So yeah, I'm more worried about Chase Young. I just want Chase Young to come to the party. You guys remember, if you're on Patreon, even on YouTube, I had it as a money pick. But remember when we had a college fund bet in Chase Young's first game against the Jags, and he played really good? And then we haven't seen him do fuck all since then. Okay. Yeah, Cool Breeze, I did see. Did you see Chase Young, lack of effort versus Detroit Lawson? I did. Yeah, man. And I'm not going to go at his pass rushing. Although the left side, the left tackle is probably the best way to get to Goff when you look at how good that Detroit offensive line was. And of course, he lost that matchup. But where I agree with you specifically was like when the Lions were running like to the right side, they'll run like an inside zone play to the right side. And San Fran would play it good. And then he just wouldn't come down and fail. And then sometimes missed a tackle. And then we would see a cutback fucking 15-yard rush for the Detroit Lions. All first half. I agree, man. And I said 2 weeks ago, I think he might be the most overrated player in this league. And like I said, I'm pretty sure I watched every 49ers game, whether it be recorded or live. Outside of the Jags game, did he have even a good game? Even against the bad teams they play, did he even have a good game? It's concerning. Malaya Mars, bet the Chiefs to win, Niners will choke. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But man, for the 49ers to respond last week against the Lions in that second half was pretty good. And I feel like the receivers let Goff down. And I just got really mad that Dan Campbell didn't kick one of those field goals. The second time I would have kicked the field goal. I felt like that Detroit defense could have gotten another stop if they got some better field position. But the 49ers are starting at like the 45 yard line every single time. I did think the Dan Campbell criticism got out of hand. I don't know how you guys felt about that. I felt like he turned into a literal punching bag for a week. And I think people lose perspective that this man got the Lions to the NFC Championship game. I don't know if people were understanding the ramifications and how big a deal that is. I really got mad at that. Because it's just like people like you turn on the TV and people's just trying to have like these hot takes. Like everyone has the same take, like saying Dan Campbell's like a bozo. Like he really isn't. I do think the 49ers have an issue. Of course, they proved it wrong against Detroit, but I do think the 49ers have an issue coming from behind. And there's been some stats to back that up. But I do think they have an issue, and they need to start fast, and they need a better first and second quarter than they had the first two playoff games, or they're going to get fucking ramshackled. That's just how it's going to be. Yeah, no, yeah, Jay Kicks, yeah. Um, I yeah, with the 49ers versus KC defense, this Chiefs defense is hard to quantify. Like I think Spagnuolo's doing a phenomenal job. But yeah, like if you go dog for dog, player for player, give me the 49ers defense. Yeah, I get it. I get it. That 49ers Packers game, that performance from the 49ers was shocking. It was shocking. What's up, Campbell? What's up, Campbell? Okay, so Tooney is out officially. Okay, so here we go. Okay, let's get it. Okay, let's get so also one thing I wanted to talk about is anyone doing any crazy props like the national anthem or anything like that. That is one thing. I'm here's my advice for that. I would go the under because normally the NFL gets like R&B singers. Like didn't they have fucking Fantasia one time? Just for an example, they have Reba McEntire this time. I think it's going under. That would be my bet for the national anthem prop. Coin toss. Oh, the worst. The worst is betting the coin toss. The worst is betting the coin toss. Campbell Jones. Hey, Lawson, you have any thoughts about Chiefs about beating the Ravens last 2 weeks? Yeah, I kind of think the Ravens lost the game more than the Chiefs won it. And I'm not trying to sandbag, like I said earlier in the show. But because whenever a team goes on the road and beats another team in the playoffs, it is not something to smug your nose at or diminish in any shape or form. I get it. But also, I felt like Lamar Jackson looked uncomfortable, erratic. Ravens got away from the running game. Chiefs stuffed the running game. And that goes into one reason why it's not a money pick. I'm still picking San Fran, preseason pick, but that goes into one reason why it's not a money pick for me. If the Chiefs stop the San Francisco 49ers running game, I think San Fran's in trouble here. And the fact that the Chiefs were able to stop the Ravens running game, I felt like was the most impressive aspect of the game. Of course, Travis Kelsey having a big day against a very good Ravens defense was, but I felt like the two biggest storylines there was Chiefs run defense and Lamar Jackson's just looking erratic. Gatorade color. Oh, yellow? Yellow? Right? I mean, isn't it mostly yellow? The spread for the Chiefs 49ers game is -2 49ers. 82% of the money's on the Chiefs. Cool Breeze, I agree with you. I think Steve Wilkes has been underwhelming this year as San Fran defensive coordinator. Like, I think if they don't win this game, I'm not saying huge possibility. They don't win this game and they played like and their defense performs like the first two games, I think Steve Wilkes is going to be fired. Yeah, Zamora, my dad loves Super Bowl squares. He loves Super Bowl squares. What's your number? You got a 0 in there? Do you got a 4 in there? What are you looking at? Bill, I would advise against it. Okay, Bill says, John, what do you think about Christian McCaffrey MVP plus 450 sprinkle? I like the methodology. I think it's a possibility. It's just they don't want to give running backs any credit. They don't want to give wide receivers that much credit either. It just seems like it's become a quarterback award at a certain point. I don't disagree with the rationale, though. And one prop I love, and I liked it last week, is Christian McCaffrey over receiving yards. It's only at like 33.5, same as it was last week. We smashed it early. McCaffrey over 33.5 receiving yards. Let's get it, man. No, Dominique, we get it, man. We get it. We get it. Like, at a certain point, some of these games are 50-50 splits. That's why I'm so shocked. 82% of the money is on the Chiefs. It wasn't that early. Square number 6-3, always the best, my opinion. Yeah. What's the math of it? Probably 4 and 0 would be the best mathematical thing. 6 and 3 is great, no doubt. Yeah, well, give me some of the receiving overs because I like the Ayuk under. I like the Brandon Ayuk under. And I can't remember what it was. Thank you, Jay. Juice Jack over 3.5 receiving yards, baby. It's a possibility. He's got good hands. And you see him slip out a lot for a play action pass. And I think the 49ers are going to have a lot of receiving targets. Like, the only two I want to bet over in the receiving yards category, the only ones I want to bet over for the 49ers are Kittle or McCaffrey. I'm kind of like, I think Debo's going to get a lot of rushing yards. Like, I think we're going to see Debo get the ball 5-6 times in terms of rushing the ball. Like, you guys remember before when Jimmy G was the quarterback, we just saw Debo getting the ball like 10, 12 times running the football for the 49ers, and it was really effective. And I think Shanahan really needs to have a great game, man. I've been underwhelmed the last two first halves, especially with the play selection, man. Yeah, man, my Joe Moto, my take on the game is 49ers were my preseason pick, so I'm obviously a little bit biased. But I think the 49ers win the game, and I think this 49ers roster is simply better top to bottom. And I think the Chiefs have been riding their luck quite a bit. And it's not one I want to bet. I'm very interested in betting the under. That's more alluring. That's more appealing to me personally. Some people think it's going to go in overtime. I saw Lauren saying that. If it's in overtime, I'm fucked. But I really like the under in this game, and I think the 49ers win the game. And you do worry about the 49ers, but I think they're the more talented team. I think the coaches cancel each other out. although I would probably rather have Andy Reid. Of course, we would rather have Patrick Mahomes. But I do think the 49ers are a better team fundamentally. I think they can run the football better. I think their defense is better. I think they have more playmakers across the board. And I do think this Chiefs wide receiving core is laughably bad. Like I do think Mahomes and Travis Kelsey cover up for a roster that is, let's be honest, it's average. It's an average team led by Pat Mahomes going crazy. And maybe that's where we're at in 2024. Maybe that's where we're at in 2024 NFL. If you have an elite quarterback, you can just fucking beat people with a bunch of fucking scrubs. But I really feel like the Chiefs let this roster devolve the last 2.5, 3 years, and they haven't had to pay any sort of price for it. They did pay a little bit of price during the regular season, but then we see them go on the road in the playoffs and completely dominate. They beat 3 very good football teams. No problem, Joe. No problem, though. Jay, I don't think the Chiefs can score 24 plus. And that is an interesting way to look at this game. And one thing I'm looking at this game, have we ever seen a less explosive Chiefs team? And I think the 49ers have one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. Like, I know they're like not your customary explosive offense where you got the elite quarterback, you got Burrow throwing to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Like, they're not your prototype. You know what I'm saying? They're not your prototype explosive offense, but they are very, very explosive. And this Chiefs offense just isn't. It's methodical. It's very, very methodical. They did lose to the Raiders on Christmas Day in Arrowhead. That was wild. Absolutely wild. Yeah, and I kind of think like 49ers money line is better play than 49ers -2. Like 49ers money line is like -129, right? So yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, here we go. Yeah, man. So yeah, first half spread is 49ers -0.5 point. I would not bet that. That's the only thing that's worrying me about this game. I'm worried about the 49ers starting slow. I am worried about that. So please stay away from that. The first half total, I do like the under as well. I do think the 49ers score a third quarter touchdown. I think that's a big possibility. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Did I miss it? What's Rashee Rice over? I missed a question. Bill, I like the Chiefs first half. Sorry, I missed it. I do like the Chiefs first half. I do like that. It wouldn't be something I'd run about, but I think that's probably going to happen. I think the Chiefs come in with like a 13-10 lead. I think the over-under for the first half is 23-2. So 13-10 makes sense. So if you're in the square holding 3-0, that'd be pretty fucking good for you, right? I wouldn't pick a fullback for a touchdown. Deja vu DV, San Fran 27, KC 24, gonna tease. Last time I didn't have weed and you were smoking. It's not even this. It's not weed. It's just a new vape. 67.5. Wow, that's tough for Rashee Rice because he is playing better. But the point is they got no one else to throw to. They got no one outside of Kelsey. I'm going over on that. Like the fundamentals say under, but eventually someone has to get touches other than Kelsey in the air, right? I do like the 6.5 under for Rashee Rice for the receptions. I absolutely love that. That's a borderline money pick. I think Kadarius Toney does a lot of things, my friend. think he's in a different planet, man. What's the big news, Campbell? What's the big news? Yeah, if Steve Wilkes decides to do it, man. If he decides to do it, J Kick says, if Steve Wilkes wakes up and decides to rush 5, it's over. I like that dog. Is that a Rottweiler? Rottweilers are great dogs. My mom has a St. Bernard. They're very similar in genetics. They're very great dogs, man. And honestly, with how dangerous things are getting, everyone should have some sort of dog. So yeah, man, like the dog, bro. Malachi Siululi. Malachi, my bad, bro. Chiefs defense will win this game with a late interception. Okay, bold. Shortest touchdown under 1.5 yards as cash. You guys want to know one I really like? I'm thinking about betting it. I'm still making up my mind if I'm going to put it on Patreon or not. Will the 49ers have made a 4th down conversion? I'm going yes, man. I think it's minus 115, minus 120. I absolutely love that. All right, Lauren, I'll send the invite. I think I sent it already. Let me see. I sent like a wrong thing. Okay, let me send it again. My bad. Fucking copied something else on my computer. Okay, here we go. I got a 357 bulldog. Let's look that up because I've been seeing some really interesting bulldogs. 357 bulldog. Let me look that up. Jesus. It's a gun. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I get it. I thought it was a different type of bulldog. Like I thought it was something like that bully pit bull. Like it's the bully pit bull. Like it's kind of smaller than the other pit bull, but like more buff, and he kind of walks around like this. I thought it was like some new sort of breed like that, bro. I googled it. I see like a gun. Jeez. These some of these pit bulls, these motherfuckers be breeding. They might as well be guns. I mean, bro, like the last time I felt a pit bull's skin, it's like almost like they have like body armor on, and I'm like, how did humans create skin to be like body armor for dogs with all this selective breeding? Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And like, man, and just to go off on another thing, I was on like Twitter the other day. I know I got to create a Twitter. I know I got to, but I was on Twitter the other day, like, like gangs were beefing and then like one gang kidnapped the other guy's dog. And I'm just like, okay, like, so maybe the pit bull will turn on him. Both teams to go for it on 4th down is plus 300. Okay, let me answer this one other question from Jay, then we'll get Lauren on. Lawson, I have an interesting question for you. From watching this season, who's really more of a game manager this year, Mahomes or Purdy? That's a valid question, man. Bro, I think it's a valid question in terms of what I was saying about the Ravens game. 5, 6, 7 chances. Am I exaggerating? I mean, Lauren will come on here and check me if I'm exaggerating, but it was like 17-7 and, Chiefs will go 3 and out. Ravens drive down, do something stupid. 17-7 still. Chiefs get the ball. Ravens get it back, go for it on 4th down, turnover on downs. Chiefs get good field position, 3 and out, or maybe they get a 1st down. I know it's just like that the whole time. And I'm not even blaming Mahomes. I just think it's a fact of the lack of the talent. And I don't think Purdy has like that game manager DNA. I'm just gonna say that. So I wouldn't say either are a game manager. Like I saw Jay Fielder play football. Like I've seen Gus Frerotte start games for my Minnesota Vikings. I've seen Teddy Bridgewater start numerous games for my Minnesota Vikings. So yeah, bro, I wouldn't say either are. What's up, Lauren?
Hey, what's going on?
Super Bowl Sunday coming up.
So not even into it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be a party pooper, but yeah, I was saying
Yeah,
earlier, wouldn't you just rather take week 1 or like give me like week 10 and then we can have a bunch of games we can dissect? And now
yeah.
everyone's talking about the Super Bowl. Like people are like, I'm sure people are asking you a lot of questions and explain a lot of things. Are we at peak NFL? Like, do you think this is the high point of the NFL and it only goes down from here, or do you think it keeps going up?
I mean, we're going to the XFL, so I mean, there's. I mean, we're at this. We're at we're the UFL or whatever the hell it's called now. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I had
No,
somebody
but
ask. My friends
let
want to
me
do a draft for this. Because nobody knows anything. This waiver wire is going to be a complete shit show. Like nobody knows anybody. Nobody. I was like, I don't even know the teams. Forget the players. I don't even know what the team. So they're like wanting to do a a draft just because they think it'll be funny and fun because everybody's like in the same boat. You know what I mean? No, but everybody's handicapped in the same, except for probably whoever's organizing this has actually probably done some sort of due diligence on this, and we're all going to get taken. But
if you watch a lot of
I said
college football, I think you'll be able to do it. Like unfortunately, because we were betting on Patreon last year, I watched a lot of USFL. We're only getting 4 teams from there. I did not watch any XFL, so I have very little to no
they
knowledge.
merged, right? They merged. Now
Yeah,
they're one.
yeah.
Isn't that where we got that kid? Where we got that kid from Carolina a couple years ago? Uh, the quarterback.
Yeah,
Didn't he come from there?
yeah, he
See,
did. So
I don't remember his name. PJ
I
Walker.
know
PJ Walker.
he was
Oh
really good
wow.
with the Houston Gamblers, I think. I could be wrong, or maybe the Birmingham team. But
Yeah.
anyways, people want to hear your picks. So, but yeah, what my question to you was, I'm just saying, is this the most popular the NFL is going to get, or is it going to keep just getting bigger every year?
I don't know if this is the most popular. I think we have so much talent coming out of college now from not just the SEC anymore. They're now coming from the Big Ten, the Pac-12. You got teams that's not. It's no longer just Alabama. It's no longer just Georgia. You got some teams that are really producing some great players. So I feel like as college gets better with all of their players and they produce from even schools that are off the grid, like Division 2 and Division 3 schools, like you find these random players. Um, I think that, I think the popularity can get better because you're now getting players from other, it's not just, it's not just the wide receiver from Alabama that you want to see when he goes, or the quarterback from Alabama and see where he goes. It's not just the Ohio State monstrosity that they have of wide receivers that they produce every year. It's not just that. So you're getting schools like Washington. You're getting schools that are have never been relevant before. So I feel like if that's happening, it can only help the NFL.
And there's not a whole out. There's not a lot of other stuff to watch on TV now. So, anyways, who's your pick?
Go
Do
with
you
my
even want to
heart.
pick? Is You can just say it's a 50-50 because I do that. And sometimes people are like, Lawson, stop being a bitch. Like, but sometimes it's a 50-50 split. A 50-50 split is a 50-50 split. Like,
So I feel like San Fran has the most talented team on this field all around. They just do. Running, wide receivers, weapons, maybe not the quarterback, though I'm still a believer in him. I think he's done well. Um, but I think San Fran, with the right schematic plan can pull this off. Nobody thought Kansas City could beat Baltimore. Even me until the end. I changed my pick to Kansas City Sunday morning before the game. But I was on Baltimore the whole week until I said, you know what? So I just said I just don't think it. I just don't feel it. I don't feel that I think that Mahomes is going to find a way to pull this off. And can he find a way to pull this off? Of course. Sure he can. He's Mahomes. But it's literally like Mahomes and Kelsey versus the 49ers. You know
That's
what I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying. Are we just too
So you
old that we think we put like too early, like 2010s football on a
Mhm.
2024 football? Like normally it works, it still works. But at a certain point, is it just an elite quarterback and it's like the fucking NBA and you got fucking LeBron James and it doesn't make a damn bit of difference. Like you said, like we need to see a better schematic plan from the 49ers. So I completely agree with you there. I'm worried about their form in the first half. That's really my only worry. I think in the second half, I think they'll be good. And like you said, the talent difference, I think we'll see a San Fran offense that is way more explosive than the Chiefs offense. But it's just
Oh, and they have been all year. It's not going to be a surprise if they are. They've been more talented all year. They've had more talent. They've had, you know, more playmakers all year. It's been like this since week one. When Kansas City lost to Detroit week one at home in Arrowhead, that should have been a sign for everybody that they were going to lose a few games this year. And sure as shit they did. And the ones that they won, a lot of them they barely pulled off. So, yes, on paper, this is a San Francisco win. It should be an easy win, really. And I think I'm gonna go with them. But I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Mahomes and Kelsey, literally, it's Mahomes and Kelsey versus the world. It's Mahomes and Kelsey versus the 49ers. That's it. Like,
and remember when they used to have like a very like good offensive line? They don't even have a good offensive line anymore. It's
no,
just
and their defense is decent. It's definitely decent. It's gotten them where they are today. Without that defense, let me tell you something. Without Patrick Mahomes, that team doesn't even win 6 games this year.
no way. No way. Even with Andy
No,
Reid being a baller,
no,
like we've seen him make like old Mike Vick and Kevin Kolb look good. Like, yeah, it's
they don't. They don't win 6 games. So, yes, this should very easily be a San Francisco 49ers win. And, but again, I wouldn't be surprised, um, if there's some Mahomes, Kelsey magic, you know, who's really going to be like, oh, boy, that's a shocker.
yeah,
Nobody.
I wouldn't be like, I'm saying 50-50 split. And
Uh,
just to respond to Fredo, like, I don't know, man, you should be feeling good as a Raiders fan because I actually think this I'm not saying it's like the best Raiders team we've seen in a long time because it's not. But I actually feel like the Raiders are in pretty good position. But yeah, well, any player
you
props you're
know,
looking
you know who's going to be dangerous now with their new coach is going to be the Chargers. That will be a dangerous team in that division. So that whole division is going to be on notice now because now they have Harborough, and
at? Yeah,
wherever he goes, he wins. So he's got a good elite. He's got a good quarterback he can work with. Someone that's got a big arm. Someone that's mobile. If they end up keeping Eckler, which with Harborough now they got a chance to, that's going to help. They got some killer wide receivers, and they have players on defense. They just need to add to it. So to me, I'm talking right now, futures bet next year, Chargers win this division.
total points 23.5. Kansas City over under. I'm going under. I think they get to 20. I'm picking
How many? How
24-20.
many?
23.5.
What's the total? What's the over under?
Total is 47.5. I absolutely love the under, but that my dreams could be dashed very quickly.
47. Gosh, I feel like we've been having. I feel like we've been having Super Bowls. What have they done the last few years? Have they gone over or under? It's been
They've been really close.
they've
They've
been
all
tight,
been
right?
really close. There hasn't been
I
like
don't
any.
know. I feel I have this like overtime feeling. I'm not saying that they're going to have a lot of scoring, which is why I feel like there might be some overtime. Weird, right?
Yeah, but yeah, it's a tough game. Michael Mann's gonna come on, and so pretty much. Did you have any props you want to?
I like the CMC, and I'll be honest with you guys, and I'm so sorry. Normally, I'm like more prepared. I just haven't really been into it this year.
No, Lauren,
Through
I don't blame you.
um,
Like, I was just wondering. I thought maybe I was being a Debbie Downer because I'm just not like, oh,
no,
Super Bowl. Like when it comes on, once the game
like
starts, I'm good. But
yeah, it's gonna be a total different. Sunday is gonna be a totally different, you know, side, a totally different outlook. But from the research I have done, from the things that I have done, I really feel like, this is in warm weather. It's not, it's not going to be in any type of rain, sleet, snow, anything like that. So I do feel really good about Christian McCaffrey, and I don't think, and that's the problem. Baltimore didn't run the ball at all. So where the Chiefs were exploitable, they chose to not give a shit. So when you have someone like Christian McCaffrey and it's the Super Bowl, that ball is going to be in his hands. I don't know how many damn times. So I like the over. I like the touchdown prop for him. I like um I like his prop. I mean, it's
I like the
CMC and
receiving 32 and a
yeah,
half, same as last
that's
week.
it.
That's why I'm going with.
Good God.
Yeah,
Good God. Yeah, I
maybe.
love it. I love it. I love the CMC.
And I do wonder how much we're going to see of like Brandon Ayuk because one of the other good players on the Chiefs is their corner L'Jarius Sneed, and I do wonder like, okay, who's he going to cover? Because where are they going to put Debo? That's the one thing I'm thinking about. But I also kind of think they're going to use McCaffrey a lot. And that's one reason why I like Ayuk going under. And I think they're going to get Debo involved. I'm not sure quite how they're going to do it. Remember, like I was trying to explain earlier in the show, you remember when Jimmy G was the quarterback and they were running Debo Samuel like 15 times a game? I think we see them try to take a little bit of focus off McCaffrey, but like you said, I think McCaffrey's going to go off. Like what's his over
Yeah.
rushing yards? Did I see it at like 92? But I think he gets 100 yards because, like you said, I think he gets like
Oh.
22 touches.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's gonna get that. He's gonna get that. I mean, he's done that in games that they were like way ahead in. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're going up against when you're going up against Kelsey and Mahomes, there is absolutely no way you can't throw this ball in Christian McCaffrey's hand at least half the time. Between him and Debo, it's going to be a complete slugfest.
I agree. 1 second, 1 second. Just had to get some water. Michael Mann says he wants to come on, so I'm waiting
Oh,
for him.
good.
But yeah, I feel like we kind of broke down everything. I just want to hear Michael Mann's pick.
Yeah.
Any plans for the off season?
Poker.
Do you play online poker?
Yes, I do. Actually, the group that I play with sent me to the World Series of Poker last year.
Do you what site do you use?
So, it is on Poker Bros and Purple Chip Poker. They are the best club around. They give so much to their players. It's absolutely insane.
I'll try it out because I'm looking for something to do at night. Because at night I can be very patient, and with poker you have to be extremely patient. So maybe I'll
It,
try it
it, it
out.
does it does it does take a lot of patience, and it actually, but it's they're a great club. They sent me and three other people to the World Series of Poker last year, in a great atmosphere. We earned it. You had to earn it. Obviously, you had to play so many weeks to qualify, but they paid for your entry fee. Um, they paid expenses. It was great. So if anybody's looking to um, get for a club, please reach out to me. I'll definitely point you in the right direction.
What's up, Michael Mann? And Campbell's
Okay.
asking what's online poker. I think it's kind of self-explanatory, Campbell. Anyways, Mike, who you got, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing good.
I have Chiefs. And I'm not rooting for them, but I have Chiefs to win and cover. There's a number of factors here that I'm questioning about the 49ers. I think the Chiefs are going to take this game. Definitely like with the spread, but I do have them to win and cover overall. For one, if you're putting me in a big game, if you tell me I got to pick between Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan or Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, I'm taking Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes every time. And not to mention something that's going kind of untalked about, Kyle Shanahan, these big games, does not do well. Anytime the game is tight, anytime the game is pressured, his decision making really comes into question. A la the last two Super Bowls he's been in, for starters. The fact that his team is one of the worst comeback teams in the NFL, despite having some of the best receiving talent in the NFL. And I think if this game comes down to the fourth quarter, which I believe it will, I think the Chiefs are going to take it.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't
Can't disagree.
all that bad.
I mean,
but again, like, who the hell knows? Like, this is a really hard game to break down because both of these teams are.
it's probably the hardest. It's probably the hardest. The hardest. These two teams are here for a reason. So
Yeah, some of the best positional
I,
groups forward in the NFL, like going against one another. You can't decipher those matchups and accurately anticipate who's going to win those matchups. It's really hard to pick a winner here. But I do have Chiefs overall. But I hope I'm wrong. I want to see these 49er players get a ring. I want to see McCaffrey get a ring. I want to see
me too.
Jordan.
Of course you do. You want to see McCaffrey get a ring. He's, you know what I mean?
I want to see my Lord and Savior Sam Darnold get a ring. Like, this. I'm kidding. But
no, I want to see McCaffrey.
He'll get one too. Look at all these Panthers going to get a ring now. All these Panthers are going to get a ring if that actually
real team with a coach, and that's what happens. Not Matt Rule.
A lot of people are worried about Steve Wilkes, Mike.
You know what? And I think that's a valid complaint. Steve Wilkes, I love the man. I want him to be Carolina's head coach. But when he faces these West Coast, or not West Coast, but when he faces the more, I guess modern is the word, more modern offense in the NFL, he kind of struggles a bit because his style of defense is still the old school cover three that we saw Ron Rivera and Pete Carroll dominate the league with in the 2010s. And that style of defense just doesn't work anymore. And Lawson and I have been talking about this for years, but when you play better team, better quarterbacks, they can pick that apart. And
no, bro, and you're right.
Definitely.
No, but Mike, you're 100% right. And then, like, with the cover three, you just give away the flat pretty much every single play to a good quarterback. And like you said, it's like going to be West Coast because they just check it down. And you got to go man to man. And why not go man to man against the Chiefs?
Well, and that's another interesting factor too. So the Chiefs against man coverage are terrible. Like, they're not good at all. But the 49ers are also trash in man coverage. They love playing zone. They love sitting back in zone, and that's really where they dominate people. So I'm curious to see from Steve Wilkes' perspective, what is he going to do against these receivers? Are we going to see a lot of man, a lot of press, or are we going to see a lot of zone? I think if we see a lot of zone, you're going to see the 49ers lose.
I kind of agree. I hope they like we got 49ers fans saying just like try to rush 5, and why not? Like, one thing I was surprised about was that the Ravens didn't really deal with Kelsey all that well. But then again, I looked at a lot of the plays and he was just a dog. So I felt like the Ravens defense was phenomenal last week. But man, it's just not a lot in this Chiefs offense. So I'll let you guys have the last words. And thank you guys for coming on every Friday this year. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Got on.
Yeah.
I'll send you my bill.
I just got on.
Okay, got you.
Underrated factor in this game, and I don't, I hate to bring this up, but officiating. Who are these officials? Who are these officials?
It is the elephant in the room. We did see what happened. Chiefs Eagles.
I mean,
well, and if Nick Bosa is getting held every play and it's not called, like that's a huge advantage for the Chiefs. Like and that's just one example. Like, and that can go uncalled so easily that the refs aren't holding. And listen, Jawan Taylor might be the worst left tackle in the league, but he looks decent because of the amount of penalties he gets away with.
Agreed.
If the refs actually show up and hold them accountable, then you're going to see a lot of penalties in this game. But if they let them play like they've done,
I just want them to play. I just want them to play. I want it to be a clean game. I don't want any bullshit like, where it's going to be controversial. Like, I just don't want that crap. Like,
I don't want
like with
James Bradbury shit we saw last year.
last year? Oh, God.
Yeah, that should never happen. A game
That was horrible.
Unless it's like a Saints-Rams situation, a game should never.
I know, and
I mean, there was petitions for a redo. There was petition. I signed that shit.
Yeah,
there was petitions for a redo. Like it was, I mean, just
that was so petty. Do people forget that? I mean, I know it was a bad call, but people forget that y'all choked that game away in overtime and still gave up a field goal to the Rams in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, sure. I agree. I agree. We had ample opportunity to win that game. Like we absolutely had ample opportunity. But with the call,
you still got,
of course. Yeah, but we went to overtime and we couldn't capitalize.
Yeah.
Point blank.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna say I want a good, clean game. I want to watch Usher at the halftime show, and I want to see. Literally, I just want a good, clean game. I hope to hit a freaking Super Bowl square, like for God's sakes. And I just really want a good, clean game. I want something back and forth. I don't want to see any blowouts. There's not going to be a blowout. These teams are too good. So, and don't bet the damn coin flip, guys. That's retarded.
Oh, I got
that's ridiculous.
I'm not
betting. Were ridiculous.
I have some serious degenerate bets I want to tell you all about because some of the crap I found. Some of the crap I found. Yes. Okay, number one. Will Travis Kelsey propose after the game?
Oh, God. See, I was just hoping we could get through the show without this. I literally thought we were actually going to get through because any show that I've watched, okay, or any podcast that I've listened to, or freaking TV, I stopped watching this whole week, okay, because that's all that this is about. I'm so sick and tired of football turned into this.
Yeah, you know what though? I have to
buy tickets to her show. Buy tickets to her concert. Go watch her. She's great.
If there was one moment where I was happy this season, it was when the Chiefs-Bills game, when they tried to pan on Taylor Swift's booth, and you just see Jason Kelsey shirtless, chugging beers and getting drunk. I'm like, hell yes, that's what I want to see.
What if they lose? You think he's going to sit there and in his bummed out fashion, bring out a diamond and be like, marry me, I just lost the Super Bowl? What are these people thinking?
Yeah.
Like,
all right, I got another one. Okay, over,
you
under.
You would want to go with that.
And this, over, under, Kadarius Toney drops 0.5.
He's not even playing.
I know, and that's why it's 0.5. But that's a real bet that I found this week.
That's not bad. But do they disqualify it if he doesn't play?
Yeah, does that not even what happens then?
I mean, don't ask me. I'm just telling y'all what I found before the show. There's another one, Taylor Swift appearances -4.5. Like TV.
Over. Give me the over.
You like
over?
Give
me the over.
Give me over. I think I might want to bet that.
Yeah. Oh, I'll take it. I'll take it over. Taylor Swift, anything over.
If this
She'll
game's
be in some booth
they're
with
not.
with Brittany Mahomes and whoever else. And my God, if they win, she's going to be down there.
That's what I'm
You'll
thinking. Like,
get you'll get 4 shots of her with the damn trophy.
yeah, dude, probably, but I don't know.
It's
I'm just reading off
amazing
some of
the
the.
trophy, like dudes have like blood and fucking have arthritis for years, and she's gonna lift it up. It's kind of a joke.
Yeah, but those are my degenerate bets of the week. I figured I'd bring those on because they were fun.
All right. Anyways,
I literally, if I'm going to play anything, it's going to be San Fran money line. I don't even know what the line is. Is it 3 still? I don't even know. But
no, it's -2. So, and it's not
oh,
moved,
it's
even
2
though 82% of the bets are on the Chiefs. It's
on
not
the Chiefs.
moving.
Yeah, but who the
I
hell?
know they're on the Chiefs.
Yeah. All right. Signing off for this NFL season. Hit the like
All right,
button,
guys.
share the videos.
It's been a great season, guys. I've really enjoyed being here. Thanks for having me. I can't wait to see y'all next year. Maybe we'll talk during the draft again.
Yeah,
Hopefully, we'll talk during the draft.
Yeah, Lauren for president.
Honestly, she might win. You might win.
Maybe I'll throw my name in the hat.
You'll get the popular vote.
That's for sure. We'll see. Maybe only from certain viewers. All right, guys. It's been so much fun with you guys all year. I hope y'all have a good off season and enjoyed it. Can't wait to talk to you guys again. Go Niners.
Yeah, see you, Mike.
See you guys.
Bye.
See you. Yo.